you think about
Wait
Steve
a second,
Smith.
you're leaving somebody off that list.
Who else?
That's in the mix, that we had 1 year of great production. Next question.
Oh, transition.
I already know where this is going.
Our next topic. I want to know.
We know who came up with
Could
this question.
Peyton Manning end up in Tim Tebow country?
Tebow!
Mike Bliss of the Denver Post is reporting the Broncos have already placed a call to Manning's agent Tom Condon. He actually reported that they will. Our Adam Schefter is saying that the Broncos are one of the 12 teams that have reached out to make contact with Peyton Manning. Skip, in regards to Tim Tebow, is it fair that the Broncos would do this? It is outrageously unfair. And it is.
Okay, wait
and
a minute.
it is.
It's fair to do it to Alex Smith, but it's not fair to do it to Tim Tebow.
It is
Come on.
completely predictable. And this is yet another reason I rest my case. The GM and the new head coach, or the first year head coach, do not buy into Tim Tebow. And they are looking at this as the only way out. Because if you could actually entice Peyton Manning to come to Denver, how could even Tebow lovers argue with that one? And this would get them out from under Tebow mania going into next year. Now, for me, this would finally give me an opening to say, okay, trade him. I dare you to trade him. Release him. Not unleash him. Release. Because he's got to get a shot. I want him to see him in Jacksonville. Then we'll see what happens in that division.
They would never release him.
Well, they might.
Doesn't he have some trade value? You would never release a player that you would think.
For Jacksonville, he
Put him
would.
on the trade block.
Okay.
But the point is what you just brought up. Are the Carolina Panthers saying we're going to bring we're going to take a shot at Peyton Manning? No. Are even the Cincinnati Bengals going to say they're going to? No. Who had the most production? Who had the most productive season of those three young quarterbacks?
Well, in terms of playoffs.
Yeah, the first 16 games. Who was better? Who had the best record? Well, Tim Tebow did.
Yeah, he had the best record.
He won a
but
playoff game.
The most productive.
Well, but I can argue if it's all about winning and losing, he was the most productive of those three players.
Andy Dalton did get the Bengals with many a
and I'm sure Andy Dalton would love it in his division. Tim Tebow's.
No one's a bigger Tebow lover outside of you than me. I mean, he's on my avatar.
I know. I see it all the time.
Every time I see Tim Tebow, I mean,
it's all love. That's your boy.
That's my boy.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say man crush. I said it. Okay, that's my guy. Here's the thing, though. If you were going to the Olympics and you had your relay team, you said, these are my guys. These are my four sprinters right here. We're going to win the Olympics in London this year. And then all of a sudden, Usain Bolt said, you know what, Skip? I would love to be on your team. You know what you would have to do? You would have to address one of those four guys and say, hey.
You'd have to unlove one of your four.
Right. Exactly. Here's the point. When you're talking about Peyton Manning, that trump card, I don't care unless you're one of those 5 teams out there that has that elite guy,
like a Brady or Roethlisberger.
Right. So you have to bring him into the mix, and it makes it fair.
So if he suddenly said, Peyton Manning, my lifelong dream has been to play for the Carolina Panthers. Would you take him if you're the Panthers?
No, because you know why? Because in the game of football with that finite shelf life, you have to respect longevity. And if you're going to get something that's comparable to Peyton Manning, and it may take time, you might want to place your bet on that. Tim Tebow, as much as I love him, when will he ever measure up to a Peyton Manning 4-time NFL MVP?
But you're betting Cam Newton might.
I mean, he's the first #1 overall pick for a reason.
Will Cam do that the next 2 years? Will he measure up to Peyton?
Well, he beat Peyton's records in his rookie year. I played against Peyton Manning his rookie year. 3-13, 26 touchdowns, 28 interceptions. Cam Newton blew those records away.
Cam had much better talent around him, especially on offense. That was a pretty good
Peyton Manning had Adrian James. He had Marvin Harrison. You want to go name for name?
They were starting over, man.
Well, they let Marshall Faulk go. That's the only difference. But name for name, all I'm saying is right now, this is a trump card in every destination except maybe 5 or so. And with that said, even as a former player, if I was out there playing defensive end and Ralph Wilson and Marv Levy said, hey, Marcellous, Michael Strahan's thinking about playing for the Buffalo Bills, I said, so you want me on the bench or you want me on the other side of, wherever. Get in where you fit in. I think this is one of those situations.
And you brought up the #1 issue here, and that is that Denver has not settled on Tim Tebow as their franchise quarterback. Carolina has.
Yes.
They know Cam Newton is going to be their guy for the next 10 years. Denver doesn't. And so this is completely fair, and we have to be honest. Whenever you're in a position as a GM, as a head coach, you want to put a quarterback in place that reflects your values and your philosophy. And you know John Elway wants a traditional pocket passer. He wants a guy he recognizes.
He
that
wants a John Elway.
He wants a John Elway. And who is that? Who is close to that is Peyton Manning.
Yeah. Skip, you brought up Carolina. Would it be fair to Cam? Let me ask you, if you could right now build a franchise around Cam or Tim, who would you build?
Cam.
Okay,
Right, so you can't-
so that's why
you
the
can't
answer
blame
to
him.
your question, would you do this to Cam?
We're talking about a short term. We're talking about 2 or 3 years.
Right.
If
Yeah.
I'm the Carolina Panthers, I'm taking Peyton Manning.
No, because Ron
I don't
Rivera,
care. I
he
don't
hits
care.
his wagon
Sorry.
to Cam Newton for the long term as
I'm
well.
win out.
And
Let
you're
me
saying it wouldn't
Well,
be
if
fair
you're
to
winning
Cam
now,
Newton either,
then-
right? You're saying
Yeah.
it wouldn't be fair to Cam either.
But at least Cam could learn some things from Peyton.
And so could Tim Tebow.
Can't
Wait,
learn much from
yeah,
Peyton.
yeah, yeah.
Wait,
Because
Wait,
he's
what do you
180
mean?
degrees from
Quarterback is
Peyton Manning.
quarterback. I don't know. John
He
Elway.
can't learn how to read
Reading
defenses.
defenses.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. He can't learn
John
how to
Elway
read
said he was going to work with Tim Tebow
Extremely
all
different.
season.
Yeah.
And you'd have a
So
problem with
Tim
that.
Tebow doesn't need to learn how to read defenses.
And look at the impact.
And where did Tim Tebow go a couple of weeks ago? He went to UCLA.
Yeah, he
he
did. But
didn't
look
go to John
look
Elway.
at
He went
the
to
impact
UCLA.
of a franchise quarterback